it gives me enormous pleasure to invite our next two guests to join me on the stage. I'm very proud that we are going to partner with the Bowelbabe Fund as our charity partner, and I'm delighted to introduce my next guest, Heather James, and her daughter Sarah. Heather, many of you may know, is the mother of Deborah James, the journalist, podcaster, and host of You, Me, and the Big C podcast, which was on Radio 5 Live. She almost needs no introduction, does she? And I know that so many of you would have followed her podcast with great interest, and I think have followed her remarkable and her inspirational journey. And in 2022, just a month before her death from bowel cancer, Deborah launched the Bowelbabe Fund. Fueled by her spirit of rebellious hope, the fund has raised so far over £17 million. It's an enormous amount of money, and funded 9 innovative projects touching millions of lives. And for those of you who are familiar with a Really Health for Club journey, we're never afraid to reach out and touch those sort of more taboo subjects. Some of those we've talked about already today, whether that's money and finance, divorce, relationships, menopause, which we talked about very early days, sex. So many things, conversations across the generations, talking about elderly care, conversations which we know make a difference to our lives, because the sooner we break the taboo and the sooner that we talk about these things, the easier it is to make a difference. And it's too important. And this is no exception. And for Deborah James, from smashing poo taboos and glamming up for fundraiser to sharing her story with unflinching honesty, she was a bright, brilliant, and a beautiful campaigner for people affected by cancer. So I'd like you to join me in welcoming Heather and her daughter Sarah onto stage, just to tell us a little bit about the legacy. Come on, well done.
Thank you. Shall I sit next to
Why don't you,
I'll sit there.
yeah, and Sarah, go there. Bye.
I haven't used one of these. Can you? Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Him.
Give the girl a mic. Right, okay, here we go. So Heather, you know, many of us in the room are mothers, many of us are parents, and we're all proud of our children. You know, how many times in a day do we reach out, tell our children, you know, how proud they are? But you must be extraordinarily proud, not just of Sarah, but of your late daughter, Deborah. How do you remember her?
Deborah was always full of life, energetic. She adored life. And it seems ironic that she didn't live a very long life, but wow. I think she lived 3 lives in that short space of time. She fitted so much in. And her passion for, when she was diagnosed, to help other people break down that taboo, because I, as a mum, did not know what bowel cancer was. I didn't know the symptoms. I do now, and I hope most of you do, because Deborah would run around with a poo costume on and, you know, make sure people were more aware. Of course I miss her, and this is not what I'd planned. We've been talking about planning your life and whatever. You never know what's around the corner. I did not expect to lose my daughter. But I brought her into this world, and we saw her out of this world. Not just me, but we all were there when she died and took her last breath. And for that, I'll be forever grateful, actually. And the fun she brought, if that's the right word, to those last 8 weeks when she came home knowing she was going to die. I don't think we got any sleep. I certainly can't remember not having any drink. It was, how do you make margaritas? And she made sure her daughter, she didn't drink them, but she made sure she knew how to make every cocktail before her mummy was going to go, because she thought that would be good in life. And I think that's yeah, it is true. And I think me particularly, will always remember the fun she brought to everything. But she taught me more than what I feel I taught her in her short life, because she made me go and do things spur of the moment. I was one for planning, and it was, come on, I've got tickets to theatre, meet me in an hour. And I, oh, but that's not on my schedule. Well, no, you can alter that schedule. And she's taught me that I face the worst thing that perhaps anybody can face, the death of a daughter, and I'm still here. It's just my life now has changed. I have to learn to live with that grief and around it. The hole will always be there, and I'm lucky to have another daughter and a son and 4 amazing grandchildren. And I think my sadness is for the grandchildren that haven't got their mother anymore, because I see Sarah with her too, and then I see Eloise and Hugo, but particularly Eloise, not having a mum as a teenager is jolly difficult. And we, perhaps, I shouldn't say this, but because Deborah and I did clash because we're so similar, Eloise and I clash because we're so similar, and I love her to bits, and I think she loves me, but wow, you know, particularly when she dyes her hair in my bathroom. But, you know, that's just what her mother did, and so I think of her like that. But Deborah will always be, yeah, wow, I'm so proud of what she achieved. But now I think she felt that I wasn't going to ever retire. And, you know, 2 years off of 70, I am so busy. I still work as well. But I've got to go out there and keep that awareness alive to save other people. And early diagnosis saves lives, and that is what's so important.
Thank you for that. Well, I think we all respected her. We all admired her huge courage, in those years and those months, especially. But I think we should salute you as her mother, as a grandmother, for the extraordinary courage you show by getting up on a stage like this. And it must hurt every time, mustn't it?
Yes, it brings it back. But it's what life has given me. And actually, I embrace life because Deborah did. And the one thing she wanted all of us to do is be grateful for another day or even another hour. And I am very grateful to be here, even though I think we all have this thing, oh, I don't like my hair's a mess today. But it's fine, I'm here, and she isn't. And so for me, and all of us sat here, let's be kind to each other. You never know what anybody's going through. And enjoy, find something to enjoy, even if it's the sun we had earlier. Yeah, we all have crap days, don't we? But let's enjoy and be kind and find something good in every single day.
Thank you very much for that. So Sarah, we mentioned earlier that you raised an extraordinary 17 million, which is an amazing amount, I think, for any charity to raise. And again, it's testament to her, her power in being able to talk about a difficult subject and to get people, to be thinking about this. Can you talk a little bit about some of the projects that you're focusing on and some of the things that we might want to be thinking about in the coming months?
Yeah, I think that all stems from Deborah's initial kind of ambition of what she wanted the fund to have. So Deborah's ambition led to her setting up the Bowelbabe Fund, and that was she really wanted to drive cutting-edge research into early diagnosis and personalised medicine, in the hope that brings better treatments, ultimately to give more people more time with their loved ones. The fund raised more money than ever any of us imagined it would. And initially for Deborah, it wasn't about just raising the money, it was about raising awareness and fueling life-saving breakthroughs and bringing a platform that could support funding for better treatment. So we kind of used her kind of aspirations of the fund on continuing its legacy and where it goes. she was very passionate about early diagnosis and personalised medicine. So CRUK, they find a lot of interesting projects for us to kind of look into and decide what we want to support. It's always driven by the passion of what Deborah's interests, and that guides us. The projects need to have drive, they need to be innovative, they need to have outcomes, life-changing outcomes, and that drive and ambition that Deborah has. So that ranges from tackling the onset of young kind of bowel cancer in young patients through the Prospect project, through funding state-of-the-art machinery. So we've got the interventional radiology machine at the Royal Marsden, and supporting research such as immunotherapy, which is then kind of more in that kind of personalised targeted medicine. So we've, in the last 2 years, we've supported 10 projects. There's a new one being launched in April. For details of those projects, please go to the Bowelbabe website. We've got Bowel Cancer UK, CRUK CRUK here with us today. So please go to them, and they can tell you kind of the real depths of those projects. There's websites and everything on them. But yeah, we've supported kind of researchers, fellows, so everything from the research to the machinery to improving kind of treatment, patient care. I think another thing that we focus on of Deborah is what you mentioned. It's that she was very strong in the power of conversation. So the power of using conversation to raise awareness of the signs and symptoms of bowel cancer, and to break down the taboo of that subject. She often reflected on how the small conversations can really lead to spark changes. And I think she reflected on how her openly talking about her bowel cancer journey and sharing that journey has hopefully caused a ripple effect for future generations to kind of increase that awareness. And I think ultimately her legacy would be through the conversation she started and the money that has been raised is giving, in a world where people are battling cancer, giving them hope that through that money and through those conversations we can find life-changing kind of cancer treatment, and give more people more time with their loved ones.
Thank you for that. Now, as our charity partner, we want to do two things, and we never go into this lightly. We want to raise awareness, so you will see the Bowelbabe Fund, the team, at each one of our conferences. You'll have seen them at the sort of registration area. Please make sure you go and see them, see how you might want to get involved, and maybe some fundraising thing that you're doing this year, and you could dedicate those funds to them. They'll be at each of our conferences this year. But the second thing we want to do is we want to raise money, because obviously money is what powers these innovative projects, and money is what is going to allow us to be able to beat this cancer, which is the fourth most prevalent cancer, I understand. Yeah. So our partnership is going to culminate with a dinner in Southwest London, a special evening for 200 of our closest friends and supporters on the 20th of May 2026. So there's no excuses. I can't believe anyone has that in their diary yet. And
so put it in now.
So you're going to put it in your diary, and you're going to do a few things, I hope, and join me in supporting these two. Take a table, bring your friends, join our social committee, help spread the word, get your company involved and sponsor this extraordinary event. And come to us with your own ideas, because we know, this comes back to a recurring theme about everything we do at Really Help the Club, is that you can't do this alone. You need to build that support network around you, and it's leveraging that community, leveraging that network that Annie and her panel were talking about so powerfully. So thank you. Thank you both for joining us. They're going to be joining us at each of our conferences, so we want to sort of highlight a theme with them each time. But I just want to finish with your late daughter and sister's words, which I think just say it all. Find a life worth enjoying, take risks, love deeply, have no regrets, and always, always have rebellious hope. And finally, check your poo. It could just save your life. Thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you.